Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shantae Arati. I am coming on with breaking news regarding stimulus updates and news reports that are important for you as entrepreneurs and small business owners out there. We're just coming from the weekend, so we know a lot happens over the weekend. So I have to let you know what's happening on a great Monday. Today is Monday, August the 30th. So get ready for a lot of updates. We'll be talking about the PPP forgiveness. I'll be talking about those that are still in the pipeline for PPP and what's happening for that. We'll talk about EIDL. There's another glitch that one of my clients made me aware of that I want to talk about today that could potentially be impacting the processing of your EIDL loan or EIDL loan modifications. There is a SVO supplemental grant that the SBA just launched and announced on Friday. So we'll be talking about that as well. I'm going to be leading with discussions regarding the eviction ban. That's one of the latest and most important news. And yes, it does impact you as entrepreneurs and small business owners. And then we'll be talking about unemployment and some other important things that are important to you that you need to know about. So before I get started, just want to, as always, welcome you in to let me know who you are, where you hailing from, what your business is. Feel free to post any questions here. I will try to get to it. Depends on how long it takes me to get through all this important information. But I do always follow up after this broadcast. I love engaging with you guys and just helping you get through the process. Because it can be a process, and we're in the height of the pandemic. I know business owners that are still worried that we may go on another shutdown. I've had a few business owners reach out to me over the weekend, so I want to talk about that too. I just want to make sure that we're prepared. I've always said there's, things calm down, but things could take a turn at the blink of an eye. So you want to be prepared and know what you can do. So not only can you survive through the pandemic, but you can thrive during the pandemic. So hit the love button, right? Give us a thumbs up for some more people see this. Tag anyone that you know is the entrepreneur business owners that really needs to have access to this information. We know there's still so many that don't even know about these programs. Still, we're more than a year and a half in, and there's still a lot of business owners that don't have a clue about these programs that are available, or they're struggling through the process and don't know where to go to get help. And that's where you all come in and help us share our channel and our content that we give out all the time that has helped thousands during the pandemic get the financial help that they need to stay in business. Also, do subscribe. Do connect with us wherever we are on social media, but do connect with us on YouTube, right? Do subscribe. We're almost at our 25,000 subscriber goal, so we're excited about that. Thank you all for that, for all of you all that continue to support us day in and day out. We are happy to be here and be a family, a network of support for you all. So let me get right to it. Again, I want to start with the eviction ban. If you don't already know, the federal Supreme Court struck down they made a decision that the eviction ban is illegal. So if you don't know the backstory on this, the eviction ban was scheduled to end in October. However, the CDC extended it, right? So they extended it, and many people said that was illegal. We have people, advocates in the real estate industry that filed a lawsuit, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court made the decision that it is illegal. Now, I don't even know why the CDC did it anyway. It is Congress's responsibility to extend the eviction ban or what other programs, stimulus programs that there are. That is Congress's job. So Congress dropped the ball here, and I don't know what the issue is. I know there's a lot of back and forth, renters against landlords, landlords against renters. It really shouldn't even be that way. Landlords need help and renters need help. The bottom line is that there was $47 billion in federal money that was allocated and given to the states to roll out these rent relief programs to give rent relief to the renter and also to the landlord. So we see landlords and renters being evicted because a lot of these landlords, they're not big conglomerates, right? They're like you and like me. They're entrepreneurs and small business owners. I heard a story on the news just over the weekend about a landlord because he's not getting rent on the property, and he's about to be homeless because he can't pay, right? He can't pay. And sometimes they have duplexes, and right, the business owner will live in one half and then the renter will live in the other half. But what do you do if you don't have the money to be able to pay your mortgage, right? And so this is a big problem. And so we need Congress to act. They should have been done this. All they had to do was bring it to a vote. They know less than 12% of the $47 billion that has been designated has been allocated. That's a shame. And this money has been available for months and months and months. Okay, so you're talking about 3.5 million Americans that are behind on their rent in some way or another. They could be a few months behind, or they could be more than that. That is terrible. So you're looking at potentially 750,000 renters being put out on the street. Now, will this happen overnight? For some it will, for some it won't. Even with the eviction ban in place, we know across the country, landlords have been evicting renters. So it's not like nobody has been evicted, because people have been evicted, but you're going to see an increase, a ramp up of evictions going through the system. Now, I can tell you, I know the government very well, and I can tell you these court systems don't move fast, but I would not rely on that, because for one person, it could take months to get through the process, and for somebody else, it could take a week for them to be evicted. Okay, but understand that there's a process in every state for evictions. So if somebody is putting you out on the street day one, they're not allowed to do that by law. But a lot of times renters don't know their rights. Okay, and so you want to make sure as a renter and a landlord that you know what your rights are, and then act accordingly. And then I would be contacting your governor's office. I will be calling them every single day. I will be sending them emails every single day, and asking them, where is the money for renters and landlords? Why hasn't it been dispersed? And why are they processing evictions if they are, when the money has not been given to the renters? And then also, if you have renters, not every renter knows about these programs. The states have not been good at providing outreach. They have not been good about setting up the application systems and notifying residents that there is a program in place. So if you, the landlord, know that about the program, please contact your renters. Take it over to them. Take them the form, right? Sit down with them, help them fill it out, and sign it, and give it back to you, and you help them mail it. Whatever you need to do to make sure that you and your renters are taken care of, because although there may be some that just aren't paying their rent, that is not the case for the majority of renters out there. I just do not like it when people try to just generalize whole populations of people as just lazy, and just want to sit on unemployment, or just don't want to pay their rent, or just don't want to pay their mortgage. Sometimes I feel like we're in the Twilight Zone, like we're living in alternate universes. We're in a pandemic, and it's even on the rise. I think we're worse off now than we were this same time last year. And I know businesses are even worried that we're in a crisis here, that they're going to be shut down again. We are in a sense of emergency, and I wish our leaders would have that same sense of urgency, but it's upon us to make them have that sense of urgency. You need to be flooding their phone lines and letting them know that they need to get busy, and that your vote matters, okay? Because as easily as they were voted in, they can be voted out. But that's you. You have to use your power to be able to do that. But it's just a shame that Congress, they could make a vote and say the eviction ban is back in place, and then hold the states accountable to get those dollars to the renters and to the landlords. I just hope it does. I just hope it doesn't get worse. We don't need any more homeless people on the street. I mean, some of these states like California, I'm hearing the overload of homeless people all over the place. It's sad. It's just sad. So I don't want to stay on that too long, but it's important to know, because small business owners and entrepreneurs are renters and landlords. So it's impacting you. And with that said, I've also had many businesses ask me about assistance for small business owners who rent commercial units, right? So we have small business owners with brick and mortars that lease, that they are behind. So regular people are not the only ones behind. Small businesses are behind, and they're asking, okay, is there a rent relief program for me? What I would say is, one, you need to check with your state. Every state is different in the types of relief programs that they're rolling out. And you also should use the fundings that you have already received. An example, PPP is an example, right? Your Paycheck Protection Program money is not just for payroll. It is a eligible expense is rent and utilities, okay, for brick and mortar, not for your home-based business, okay? So, but if you have a brick and mortar and you are behind in your rent, you use part of your PPP money. You use that 40%. 60% goes to payroll. 40% goes to all the other expenses. If you've received EIDL grant or EIDL loan, you can and should use that money to get your rent caught up. You cannot be in a position where you lose your business, right? If you don't have a brick and mortar, what are you going to do? Where are you going to set up shop? And I know business owners that have said that they don't have landlords that are willing to work with them, unfortunately. Okay, so it's a different landscape than even just a regular residential renter. With these commercial units, they do not play about their money. The landlords want their money. They're not wanting to hear about you're behind on your rent, and commercial rent is expensive. And for those of you that pay, that have a brick and mortar, please comment in the comments below to let people know. And if you are one that are struggling with your rent, let us know as well. But I would encourage you to use those funds that you have received. There's no reason that you got the grants and the loans and you're not using them towards your rent. But I'm sure that most of you all that are that have received the money are putting it towards the business uses that you need it for. Okay, and so get caught up on your rent. That is what that money is available for. So I wanted to make a point about that as well. And then try though to work with your landlord, your commercial landlords, to see if they're willing to work out like an arrangement where you pay on the back end or whatever, pay lower payments and then pay the rest on the back end, or whatever you can do. But do make the attempt to work with the landlord. But not every landlord is a good landlord. Okay, I think we all know that. Okay, so I wanted to move on to, well, before I get into PPP, let me just talk about real quickly the unemployment, because that's one of the other big news is that federal unemployment benefits are coming to an end September the 4th. Okay, we're just 2 days away from September, and September the 4th is the end of the federal unemployment for the states, for the other states that did not end their programs early in July. So we know 26 to 29 states, which are Republican states, they closed their programs early. There are some states that have a lawsuit in place. There's some states that won the lawsuit to reinstate those benefits. So for you all, make sure you get all your benefits for those that were reinstated. But again, there has not been any mention of extending the unemployment past the September 4th deadline, but there has been like a call from the president for states to use stimulus money that they supposedly have left over. How do you have stimulus money left over? I just don't. Somebody explain it to me. I don't understand how you have stimulus money left over when there's so many people and so many small businesses that need help. And I'm talking desperate help. Okay, so you shouldn't have money left over. But with that said, some of these states are sitting on the money. And I've called some of your states out, Florida, Texas, not sorry. But some of your states have been dropping the ball as far as getting relief out to you all as small business owners and residents. And now I'm talking about at the state level. So contact your governor's offices for that. But September the 4th, that means that the PUA, the pandemic benefits, will end. The additional $300 per week will be ending. Okay, so I just want you all to know that and what to expect. Now, some states have put some incentives in place some programs in place, not all, and it's not the majority, but some incentives in place, like for workers to return, you get like an add-on bonus. There's also some stimulus checks at the state level that they're giving out. Just depends on the state. So check with your state. If you go to your governor's office or contact them, even if you don't know what the website is, contact them and they will tell you where to go. They should be able to direct you to the department and to the website where they have their relief programs. Most states have them. All the states that I check usually do that are doing a good job with that. But yeah, unemployment is coming to an end. If that should change, as always, I will let you know. But again, what will it cause the change to happen? Congress needs to vote. Okay, they need to bring it to vote, and I don't know that is going to happen. Okay, so I just want to let you all know about that as well. For the states that did end early, that just was like, oh, the reason why, there's this super shortage of staff across the board is because all these people just want to sit on unemployment. Well, it wasn't a game changer for their state, okay? It wasn't a game changer. And without the people on unemployment, people are just the industry is just not there. There's a number of factors. People are having a hard time with child support, even with callbacks. It may not be at full capacity, so maybe they only calling you back in for a few hours a week while you're trying to deal at home with somebody that got COVID. The school's going back and forth trying to decide if you're going to school or if you staying home, or they saying you all got to go to school. There's no choice. Then everybody gets COVID. Then you got to go back home. How do they think families are supposed to deal with this inconsistency, right? And this crisis, and they just go with the flow. There is no flow. That's how it's working across the states. You have governors that saying just outright, if you have any type of mandate, you're going to lose money, this and that. You have to go back to school. It's just a mess, and it's creating a crisis for families to try to figure out how to do it, how to maintain, and how to work and manage the school life and all these crises that are being these fires that they have to keep putting out. I mean, I wish more people would understand, and not just people, our leaders would understand what the effects of this pandemic and the lack of leadership is just having on the American people across the board. I mean, we really need to get it together. Okay, with that said, I'm gonna just get off of that. Let's talk about PPP forgiveness, because this is good news. PPP, as I said before, it closed to new applicants. I still get people asking me. Before I talk about forgiveness, those of you that apply with Wamply, okay, they were one of the main brokers for giving PPP loans to the smallest of small businesses like entrepreneurs, 1099 workers. And they funded a lot of loans, but a lot of you all were left in the pipeline because money ran out or they weren't getting back to you. You didn't hear back. But they officially announced last week, I believe it was on Thursday or Friday, that it is officially closed. And that means if you were in the pipeline, they're not processing because even before that, the SBA announced the full closing. So I do not think any more applications are being processed. Now, if I'm wrong, please let me know. If you've been funded, if you were stuck, right, waiting, and you were approved, or you were told, you signed your loan documents, please let me know if you were funded in the last week or two. Then maybe that would give hope to other people. But as far as I know, there's no more money being given out. So at this point, the focus is on, for those that did receive funds, and that's millions of businesses that did receive billions of dollars, to get those loans forgiven. And so they have not updated the PPP forgiveness report. I did report on it last week. But they are ramping up, right? So more and more businesses are applying, but the small businesses, those that received $150,000 or less, still there's more than 50% of you all that have not submitted your forgiveness applications. You have to submit a forgiveness application in order to get your loan forgiven. Because I know some of you all were told, oh, go get this PPP money and it'll be automatically forgiven. It will not. You will get a bill in the mail to tell you that your first payment is due. Okay, so I don't want it to get to that point. And for those of you that got loans in 2020, that's you. Now, as of the last report, those that did get loans in 2020, over 80% of you all had requested forgiveness. Okay, but that means there's still like 20% that did not from 2020, and it's a good amount of 2021 applicants that got funded that have not requested forgiveness. And it's the ones with the smallest funded amounts. But I am happy to report, as people report to me, that the process for the most part is going smooth. The SBA has their direct portal. It's an easy process, very smooth is what I actually did a test case in there. It worked quickly. For me, it took 5 minutes. The most it should take you is 10 minutes. For those of you with 150,000 or less that was funded, those are the businesses that the portal is for. Okay. And then if you went through your lender, that's why it's so important for you to have a relationship with your lender. Those of you that went through like Blue Acorn and Womply and Biz2 Credit and some of these other brokers that were actually brokers, they were helping, right, to connect you with the other partnering lenders. But you received very little response, if any. And I know that's very frustrating process to go through. And even when it's time to get forgiveness, you're like, where are they? What is their process? I do know that they do have a website. If you Google PPP forgiveness for your lender, they should have a process. Now, if they're up and running yet, I don't know. But depending on your loan, you need to be tracking the date, because some of these should already have the process up and running for you. And if they don't, that's a problem. But for some of you, if your lender has opted into the portal, and last that I checked, it was well over, I think it was about 1,500 lenders that have opted into the SBA Direct portal. What that means is even if you have a non-responsive lender, it doesn't matter. You apply through the SBA portal. Okay. And there's track your application there. And so when you apply through the SBA portal, the SBA will approve. They will say, an example, you apply for $10,000. We're approving $10,000. We're sending it to your lender. They're sending it to your lender. The lender has to void out your loan, right? And so you should then hear something back from your lender, but that's the proof from the SBA that you shouldn't have to pay any more money. Now, when I applied, again, I didn't apply through the portal because my lenders have been very responsive, and they did my first draw PPP loan forgiveness applications really quickly. And they came back in, it was zero. It was like zero that you have to do. It's zeroed out, nothing you have to do further, and no money is owed. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. But I'm still waiting on the approval of my second draw loan, and it hasn't been long. Okay. It is longer than the other ones. Those are the first draw, right? This is second draw. So I anticipated it would not just be the next day that I would get it, but I'm monitoring that closely. I know people that did get second draw in 2020 that have already had theirs forgiven. So it depends on when you got your loan. Now, some things that I want you to just be mindful of. Again, go to your lender. Hopefully you have a relationship with them. If you do, that's where to start. Call them, find out if their applications are open, when they will be open. Try to find and talk to the lender who processed your application. Just shout out to one of my peers who just let me know that she received forgiveness back in June, and she gave some best practices that I have given before as well. But yes, find your loan officer, tell them that you're ready. So you need to make sure you're ready, meaning that you spent the funds on eligible expenses, at least 60% on payroll, 40% on other business related expenses. We have videos on all this. So if you have a question about what to spend it on, how to be eligible for it, how to pay yourself your owner's compensation, or your salary replacement, we have videos on our playlist on YouTube that walks you through that entire process. Okay. You want to make sure you're requesting after your cover period. So the cover period is between 8 and 24 weeks that you spend the money, that you spend the funds. Okay. So you don't have to wait to 24 weeks. You you're at the 8-week mark. But my recommendation is that you not submit the application until you are at least at the 10-week mark. So 10 to 13 weeks, to make sure that you have the time in there that you have spent the money in the covered period. So I wouldn't just at the 8-week date, just put 8 weeks, okay? I would put it between 10 and 13 weeks for your cover period when you're applying, and making sure that you're at that date. That's what I did, and I didn't have any problems with getting approval. You want to use the same exact information as you did with your application. So when you do apply, it's going to auto-populate. Usually they're going to ask you to log in, sign in, and give them your loan application number. Depending on your lender, once you sign in, they may automatically recognize your lender number, especially in the SBA portal. They will be able to match it, and you want to match it against your records, because sometimes with these different programs and application, I have found that some people, there's some discrepancies, maybe in your name, your business name, your EIN, or a number. You want to make sure it's matching verbatim, so it doesn't cause any problems down the line. But you're going to give them the same exact information unless there have been some changes, okay? But it is a simple application process. There's no request for additional documentation, at least not for the first draw. Second draw, I've explained that if you didn't provide it on the front end, you have to provide it on the back end. But the SBA has put in place another alternative just to relieve the burden of having to provide additional documentation. So I already covered that as well. So those are going great. But again, it's still too many of you all out there that were funded that you can now submit applications that you haven't. So if you have peers that that have applied for PPP that got funded, just ask them, have you applied for forgiveness? Have you used your funds on eligible expenses? Know that you can apply for forgiveness once you've spent your money on eligible expenses within the covered period. And if you don't know what all to say, just point them back to our video. Share our video and tell them, go check this out. Make sure that you apply for forgiveness, okay? Now, I want to talk about really quickly the Shuttered Venue Operator grant. The SBA announced on Friday that the supplemental grant applications, or the invite to apply, they are now sending those invites out to those that applied and were awarded in the first round, because this is another program that you got a chance to get 2 grants twice. So you get the original grant, and then you can get 50% of your awarded amount. That is super fantastic. So they are rolling that out and anticipate to be sending out those awards, in your bank account within 2 weeks. So if you were one of those that were funded the Shutter Live Venue grant that closed on August 20th, congratulations, and be looking out for that correspondence from the SBA. As always, check your inbox and your spam folders. We know that $7.2 billion remain for additional funding. So $7.2 billion for you to be able to get access to a supplemental grant. In the first iteration, $9 billion went out. Again, it closed at the end of August. And this also, those of you that are getting the supplemental grant, is going to expand the time that you have to spend the money. Okay, so this program has some real strict requirements on how quickly you need to use this money. So under the supplement, it will be extended. You will have until June 30th, 2022. That's next year, June 30th, 2022, to spend the money. And so they have real strict reporting on this grant, and it's basically use it or lose it. There is no holding on to the money. You have to spend it or give it back. Okay, so I would advise you to spend it and make sure you keep all your documentation in order for yourself and for the SBA, because they will be coming back to ask for it. And there is certain reporting requirements that are that you will have to adhere to. Now, the supplemental grant are for those that experienced a 70% decrease in gross sales, gross receipts, gross revenues. These are just alternate terms depending on which one that you use. you have to have a 70% decrease. And we know with a lot of these programs, especially in the second round, or if it's a supplement, the severity of the loss is greater to be able to qualify for some of these supplements. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. So now moving on to the EIDL program. This is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. The last report that came out about this, maybe they'll come out with the newest one tomorrow or in the upcoming days, but was August the 19th. And so I mentioned before that the SBA is working through a backlog, which they really amped up the speed on processing, but we know it's still people in the pipeline. So I really want to gauge where you are at in the process. So if you requested this is an EIDL loan modification. This is for the increase up to $500,000. And that doesn't mean you're going to get $500,000. SBA will tell you what you qualify for based on the calculation method that they're using. But with that said, we know that there was 600,000 in the pipeline. And I know that a lot of you all have been getting through that, being approved, and not just being approved, but getting funded. But we know that 50% about, even though they processed it, were denied. Okay. So it doesn't mean everybody is going to be approved, but I want to know if you got the modification, if you were approved for the modification, and if you actually got the deposit for the modification. Because we know that there's still challenges there. It's not an easy process for a lot of people. And people do get, businesses do get denied for various reasons. And so you want to just make sure that you're able to overcome that. Don't just give up on the process. Just make sure that either you correct the error that caused the denial, or you can provide evidence that their decision to deny you was incorrect in the first place. Okay. So we have tons of EIDL videos. I do offer EIDL consults as well as PPP consults. So feel free. The link is in the comments if you need it to book on my calendar, but I can tell you that my schedule books up really quickly. I only have limited spots. But we do have tons of explainer videos where we walk you step by step through a lot of this process. We do have even EIDL reconsideration templates and reevaluation templates on our website at www.shebosstalk.com that have helped a lot of people as well. Because sometimes, you may not know how to word or what to address, but you want to make sure that you are addressing the reason for the denial. Like some of you all submit reconsiderations and you're not even addressing the reason for denial. If you were denied for your credit score, then you need to address the credit score. You need to go back and say, I worked on my credit these few weeks. My credit score, I read the report, and is 570, which is the requirement for EIDL loans, not grants, EIDL loans, and you resubmit your reconsideration. Now they will verify that that is the case, right? So, they use certain creditors and they look at your score to see that you have a 570 Vantage score and not a FICO score. Okay. The EIDL grants, again, the report has not been updated. The SBA improved a lot of their processes. You tell me, okay, everybody in this situation is different. Do you feel like the improvements that they made over the past, I believe, 3 or so weeks have improved the processing of your specific application? Please let me know, because I'm still hearing stories about people, businesses not really, having a good time getting through the process, or may have challenges getting through to the SBA or getting their questions answered. I know the frustration. I've never had a problem getting through to the SBA to actually get a person on the phone at the SBA, but I know other people have. We have the contact information and we always include it in the show notes. So you know where to go to file a request, to apply for the program if you need to, or to file your reconsideration or reevaluation for the grant if you were denied. There's 2 different processes. There's 2 different emails that you send it to. There's also some of you that had the banking issue where you were funded and there was a problem with your bank, and you asked me about, okay, how long is it going to take to get my money? there is no standard answer for that question. But I know, and they tell you, and I've said, please make sure you have your bank information correct. You're using the proper accounts. You're checking. A lot of you are using personal accounts that are not even set up to receive this kind of money. And it's not a business account. So you're applying for these programs. Yes, you were approved by the SBA, but your bank is looking at you crazy. And they're issuing a fraud alert on your account and shutting your account down, or something is not matching. So you did not verify that your bank account met the requirements, right? Or your bank account doesn't accept ACH wire transactions, which is required. Or your bank account doesn't accept any money over a certain amount. Either you put the restrictions on, or your bank account has restrictions. That's why you need to contact them in advance and verify that your account will accept SBA funds. Because after that, it could be months, and it has been months. Okay. But whether you're in that situation or you're just stuck in the process, I keep saying this because we get new viewers all the time that this is your first time hearing this. I'm telling you, what you want to do in the FAQs, they updated their FAQs, the SBA. Contact your district SBA office. If that doesn't work, and while you're doing that, whether it works or not, contact your congressperson in your state. You can Google them, okay? And contact them. Get them involved. They will have you sign a release form, giving them permission to talk to the SBA regarding your application on your behalf. You have to give them permission. I'm telling you, this works. If you went to one congressperson and didn't get anything, go to the next one. Okay, we give up too soon. You got to be action oriented, right? You got to keep doing it. Keep calling, keep emailing. No, it's not. You don't want to do it, but if you want the money, you will. You have to, right? Because this is not an easy process. We already know that there's many challenges, but they can help expedite resolution of whatever the issue is that's keeping you stuck and get you funded. I have several testimonials of business owners recently, as yesterday, came back and said, I was funded. I did what you said. I contacted them, got them involved. They went to work. Next thing I knew, I had my EIDL grant, the $10,000 and the $5,000, but they were stuck before that. They couldn't get anything from the SBA. Okay. So I'm telling you what alternatives you have. Don't just sit there, and don't just let your application sit there without taking some type of follow-up action. So I want you to know what you can do besides just wait weeks and months and months and months, and nothing is happening with your application. Because while there is still tons of money available, the program ends at the end of December. We're almost in September. So billions of dollars or not, once that deadline hits, is the deadline, and you will not be able to apply for this program. So I would encourage you to, if you have not already applied for the EIDL, to the EIDL loan program. This is the Economic Injury Disaster Program administered by the SBA, one of the most popular programs during this pandemic. Submit an application. Whether you're denied or not, whether you're approved and accept the funds or not, you will still get invited to apply for the targeted EIDL grants. Okay. So I just had a business owner tell me they checked their email. They went through the process, right? They just applied in 2021 for the loan, and they got the invite for the targeted advance grant. Okay. Cash grant. That is money you do not have to pay back, which is why I'm urging you all to apply, because there is literally $27 billion still there. Now, if this infrastructure bill passes the House, $17.1 billion will be removed. That means you need to get your applications in now, be in the sequence now, so that when they do pass the infrastructure bill, you won't be considered unallocated. Because they consider these funds unallocated. It's not designated for any person, any applicant. So we need to draw down that number before the bill passes in the House. It's already passed the Senate. And they said by, I believe, September the 27th, they will put it up for vote with the bigger budget of the $3.5 trillion bill. So again, this is an urgent matter. This is free money for your business. Businesses still need money. And I'm not just talking about all just small businesses with employees. If you are a gig worker working for Hub, Grub, Uber, Lyft, Instacart, any of that, okay? If you're an independent contractor, 1099 worker, you can qualify for this program if you were in business as of or before January 31st of 2020. Okay, so to get the targeted grant, $10,000 max, 300 employees, you must show a 30% decrease in gross receipts in a quarter compared to that same quarter in 2019. That is a must, and you must be in a low-income community. To get the supplemental $5,000 grant, you must be in a low-income community and have experienced a 50% or greater loss and have 10 or less employees. So you may get the $10,000 and not the $5,000. Okay, so I met all of the requirements, and I received the $10,000 and the $5,000. Okay, and if you don't get the $5,000, don't be sad about it. You got the $10,000, right? Celebrate what you do get. I believe in celebrating what you do get, being thankful for what you have, and you'll get more. There's more where that came from. Okay. And then use that money wisely. But you can't use any money if you have not applied for the program. And it's just too many of you all that still haven't applied. That's why I keep saying this. And it's repetitive to some people, but sometimes it takes the fifth time for people to say, okay, I'm going to jump on, I'm going to take action. Okay. So I don't want you to decide to take action like one business owner did with the Shuttered Venue grant. He waited to the day it closed to try to apply. And by that time, it was too late because of all the requirements, right? So he missed out on potentially thousands of dollars because he waited to the last minute. Don't wait to the last minute, okay? Don't wait to the last minute. So the last thing that I'm going to report on today, and I did a video last week, this is so important. If you have employees, this is as big of a program, if not bigger, but it has flown under the radar, and a lot of business owners don't know about it because I put out many polls across social media over last week and over the weekend. This is the Employer Retention Tax Credit, up to $33,000 per employee that you have. And no, not for self-employed that you're the only employee. If you have W-2 employees or you know someone that does, and I know you do, ask them, do you know about the Employee Retention Tax Credit? Okay, this is not administered by the SBA. This is through the IRS and your tax filing. These are your quarterly tax filings that you do. So what you need to do, if you think you may qualify for this, you need to reach out to your accountant or your tax professional to ask them or work with them to see if you qualify for this and to submit the necessary documentation to be able to get it. Now, you either this is either claimed on your 941, that's your quarterly federal tax return, or there's a form 7200, which is for an advanced credit. That means you can have cash in your pocket. This is a refundable tax credit. Now, the $33,000 per employee is for a combination of eligibility for 2020 and 21, because the program has been extended and expanded, right, in amount and in time that you can apply or that they cover for this through the end of December. However, guess what? The infrastructure bill in it, if it passes, would end this program early. So instead of December 31st end date, it would end September. Again, that's why time is of the essence. So even if it ends in September and you can only claim through September, that's still a lot of money. That's still like $28,000 per employee combined 2020 and 21 eligibility that you can get. You can potentially qualify for this credit. Now, I know in 2020, you had to have experienced a 50% loss, right? It's quarter comparison. But 2021 is 20%. And we know most people can say that they had a 20% loss. Now, if you didn't, congratulations to you, because there are some businesses that really thrive. But more than not, there were more businesses that did not. And so the 2020 only requires a 20% loss. So I would, at the end of this video, wait to the end, but I will be reaching out to my accountants and tax professionals. Now, as always, if you need recommendations, please feel free to email us at hello@SheBossTalk, and I'm happy to give referrals. But please know, just like me and just like you, they are very busy. Imagine if you're asking them to file tax returns for you, they have hundreds of other business owners trying to do the same. There's still business owners that haven't filed their 2020 taxes. Okay. So, know that they're busy. And if you try to ask them to do a rush job, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And anytime you try to ask someone to expedite a process, know you're going to pay a premium, right? It's going to cost you more. It always costs you more on the back end when you didn't do things in the right in the first place. It just costs more, right? So just know that. And that's why you have the grants and the PPPs and the EIDLs to use that to reinvest in your business, to pay the right people to help advance your business forward, right? So that's why I asked, and I'll ask you guys here, those of you that did get PPP, if you got EIDL grant or loan, if you got the restaurant revitalization grant or the SVO grant or the state grant, how has it helped your business? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it, because that's what it's meant for, to help your business. So I want to know that it is definitely helping in your business. There's so much that it can do for your business to really transform your business. I know it has done that for us, for our companies, and I'm very happy about it. And there's more to come. There's more available. There's more grants at your state level. There's more relief at your state level. Now, your state, they may be slow. And a lot of times, though, you haven't even asked. You have not called. You have not researched. You have not gone to our grant tracker. And we tell you specifically what key organizations have grants, have pitch competitions, have accelerators that all give out free money to businesses, right? So these organizations exist, and then they're in your local communities. And a lot of you are in your local communities, and you're not taking advantage of any of the opportunities that are right there in your local area. And I've told you all before about the lady that watched our channel, one of our videos. She watched one of our videos and followed my instructions verbatim. That's when I told her, you need to check in your county, your city, your state. She went and called her county representative, asked them if they had any programs, and they told her yes. And in 12 days, she had $20,000 in her bank account. Now, had she not done it, all she had to do was pick up the phone and follow the instructions on what they said. And she used our winning grant application cheat sheet. So she knew in advance what they may ask her for. And so by the time when they asked her for it, she had it. She was prepared to get it. So that's what you want. That's why during this pandemic, we have developed so many tools. We have a masterclass, right? We have a cheat sheet in a checklist that tells you how we won grants. We take you step by step without hiring a grant writer, and how you can go get grant money. I'm talking about at every level, you can get a grant. We've gotten grants at every level. How to win a how to apply and win a pitch competition, right? So we do all of that. I connected you with experts on pitches. We have videos on how to pitch your business. More and more companies are coming out with more pitch competitions. You have to actually know how to pitch your business to get money. And I'm talking about big money. Hennessy just announced the winners of their accelerator program, where they got the business owners got $50,000. Okay. And TikTok, Clubhouse, they've all had accelerators where they gave out money. Amazon just had one, right? Just closed out their applications. It's an accelerator plus big grant money, free money for your business is available. And then in addition to that, there are other funding opportunities as well. We have helped so many businesses. We just helped a home health care company. One of my newest agents, I have a team of over 42 at this point, helping businesses get access to same day funding up to $25,000. but we actually fund up to 2 million. So she came on, and in 3 days, she got a funded client for $120,000. Got them funding. They didn't have to wait weeks and months to get money to help support their business goals. Businesses make money, but they still need money to make more money, whether it's purchasing inventory, new equipment, buying another building, doing an expansion, getting in on a partnership. All of those types of things take money. Businesses need money every day, even if COVID didn't exist. And I'm so happy to say that we have been able to help so many businesses get that money that they need when they need it, right? Not waiting months and months like you're waiting for the SBA. Yes, that's nice, but you can't do anything with it if it's still on hold, right? So you can use this to fill the gap, or if you don't, it's non-COVID, or you didn't qualify for EIDL or PPP or restaurant revitalization grant, you can get this funding and be able to achieve your goals. Go and do whatever you need to do for your business. But what I do know is businesses need money now. They need capital right now. And they don't know what's available unless you tell them. So that's why I appreciate you sharing, because sharing is caring. 80% of businesses can't go to a traditional bank and get funding. They'll be denied. Okay? Even those with good credit. So, we can help you. You can find the information in the show notes in the description of this video. With that said, those are the updates, but they're important. So there's new things happening every single day, new programs coming online every single day. So if you're ever in question, I would just make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, get on our email list, because that we give our information to our YouTube family, our email list first, then we roll it out to our other audiences. We also have a grant program. So I'm going to be launching the second round probably in fourth quarter. So I'll probably do a mini one in fourth quarter and then do a larger one in 2022. So we need partners, right? We need funding partners if we want to give more grants out, and we want to give more grants to women in business. That's why we developed this grant program, and I spent my own money, our business money, to fund 12 women in business in 2020. So my plan is to continue to do this on an annual basis. So we would love to partner with some of you all, and if you would like to partner, feel free to go to our website or just shoot me an email. And I will leave that information again in the comments. So let me just check really quickly. I see all your comments. I just want to see if there's any urgent questions that I need to answer. Again, shout out to all of you amazing businesses. You're doing such a great job. Wherever you are in your business, the fact that you're still here and we're in COVID is amazing. So never sell yourself short. And if you're struggling, make the right connections, utilize our network, watch the YouTube videos, start collaborating, get visible. Those are the key things that you can do if you want to turn your business around. You have to be visible. People have to know you. They have to know what you offer. They have to know what your product is. They have to know what value you offer. What solution are you offering? Because there's people with problems and they're waiting on your solution. Okay. Somebody is saying that they don't know their loan number. All you have to do is go back. I hope you're not deleting your emails. Okay. So many business owners delete their email. I know I'm talking important emails. Go to your email that you received from your lender and your loan number is on there. Your approval email that you received that said that your PPP was approved, your loan number is on there. And for the amount that you approved for, your loan number is on there. You need to maintain that and remember it. Okay. But it's there. Just go back to your email and it should be there. Okay. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful and productive week ahead. Let's smash some goals this week. Continue to be the boss with amplified impact and continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a wonderful day.